Nigeria, we hail thee, our own dear native land. Though tribes and tongue may differ, in brotherhood we stand. I'd like to ask us, do we truly stand in brotherhood? When the chips are down, do we still call ourselves brothers? This and more will be our focus on Good Morning Abuja as we talk about how to make Nigeria a brighter and greater country for us and our children yet unborn. Good morning, I am Pamela Zamfara and this is Good Morning Abuja. We always start off with a motivational talk. Now let's see what we have on our motivational segment.
Whatever happens to you, good or bad, is ultimately happening for a good reason. In the end, it all works together for your good. So that means that if you're in a relationship and somehow that relationship ends up not working out, it's because that relationship wasn't meant to work out. But most times we hang on to what is not working, in depriving ourselves of what is meant to be. Everyone we meet in life is either a blessing or a lesson. That means that when you find yourself in a relationship, your partner is either there to teach you something or to be a team player to build your life with you. Either way, at the end of the day, whatever role your partner is playing is going to work out ultimately for your good. It might not look like that at first, but that's what happens. Think about it. Think about one of the most horrible experiences you've had in relationship. Whoever you are out there right now, going through a heartbreak or going through pain because of something you've lost, change your perspective. Don't wallow in self-pity. Don't spend more time crying. Ask yourself the questions that you need to ask to heal. What is this pain teaching me? In what way am I responsible for what I'm going through? What do I need to learn from this? The answers will come, believe me. And when they come, your healing process begins and then you can move forward.
Motivational segments there gone by. Now, I know we all know the importance of exercising. Yes, exercising is good for the body, mind, and soul. So let's go get some exercise done. Welcome back from that exercise segment. Hope you joined in on our exercise segment. Hope you exercised with us. Now, let's see this quote on life. Oh my God. Welcome back from Codes on Live. We now go on a short break. When we come back, all our conversations for the day begin. So please go nowhere.
Eyes for Allah, nothing but Allah. Ba is the beginning of Bismillah. Ta is for taqwa, bewaring of Allah. And Tha is for thawab, a reward. Ja is for Jannah, the garden of
Assalamu
paradise.
alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Welcome to your weekly guide, Light of Islam. I am Aisha Ahmed.
As Muslims, we know that in Islam, time is a very good and important commodity that we have.
Believe in the angels of God as one of the 6 articles of faith.
Farmers are made in form rows, and how the rows are made is such that the Imam stands in front and then right behind him.
Assalamu alaikum, this is Light of Islam. Keep watching Light of Islam NTA channel.
Za is for zakah, to cure our greed, when we give our money to those in need.
Welcome back from that break. Yes, it's good morning, Abuja. We are here again. It's a Friday morning. Yes, we're in the spirit of the weekend. But before we get down in the spirit of the weekend, let's discuss something that will take our nation higher. Now, what am I talking about? I'm talking about vision for a brighter Nigeria. We all desire that, and all hands must be on deck for us to have a brighter Nigeria. Our youth must come up to talk about it and actions taken. We must teach our children that Nigeria is the only country we have, and then our elderly people must also pass this love for country down to everyone. Now, what better people are there to talk about a brighter Nigeria than these 2 gentlemen I have in the studio? I have Joseph Adeniji, and I also have Mr. Aliu Oshohale. Welcome to the studios of NTA Channel 5 Abuja. It's a pleasure to have you here. And I like the way you people are looking. We're all looking Nigerian. We're looking African. Welcome to the studio. Now, talking about future for a brighter Nigeria, what does this topic, what should we be looking at?
Well, from my end, Nigeria is a growing nation.
Okay.
Nigeria is a developing nation. Nigeria doesn't have a timeline. Nigeria will keep growing and growing. And battles need to be handed over to a new athlete or to, carry on the motion of Vision Nigeria. So I would say development is what we should be looking at. The better growth of the country is what we should be looking at. And who take on the steering for forward Nigeria is what we should be looking at. So I would say that is the least we will have to contribute about Vision Nigeria for the future.
Thank you so much. So now we're talking about vision for a brighter Nigeria. Could you help us make understand that more? When we talk about vision for a brighter Nigeria, what are we looking at?
Nigeria is about 50, 54, 55 years of age, I guess. And there are developed nations that are about 200 to 150 years of age. And with what we're seeing about Nigeria now, we're developing, but we'll definitely get there. And what will take us there is inclusivity. We have to build our country together. Nobody will build our country for us if not ourselves. So for a brighter country, just like I mentioned earlier, an old man cannot rule us for a very long time. He has to pass on the baton to younger Nigerians. Who are the people coming up to wear that same shoes? To say, yes, I love my country. I want to step on these shoes and keep pushing it forward. You can't leave it stagnant. If you leave the countries and you leave countries stagnant, it will just dilapidate. But taking on that baton and saying, yes, it has gotten to the decking level. I want to add more blocks so that we get to the sky. That is what development is all about. And, treating it with love and care is what Nigeria needs. So once you have, young great minds interested in building the country. That's all. And we'll get to our destination.
So young great minds must be involved. And fortunately for us in the studio, all of us are young great minds.
Yeah.
All right, Mr. Joseph Adeniji, what are the most significant challenges facing Nigeria today, and how can we overcome them for a brighter Nigeria? Because that's what we're talking about.
Thank you for having me on this Good Morning show. On my own hand, I would say it's our mindset as a Nigerian. They say, my late dad used to tell me that it's hardly for you not to believe on the product and you want to profit from that product. On my own view, every Nigerian has to have a mindset of positivity. If you're positive about this great country, Nigeria, every other thing will fall to place. Let me cite an instance. Back then, growing up in Magadengeri local government, Kaduna, I'm a Yoruba boy.
Okay. But you grew up in Kaduna.
I grew up in Kaduna.
Was it easy for you growing up in Kaduna? Because, these days you see, I don't want to call names, but you see a region telling the other region to, go back to your place. Oh, no, this is our place and all of that. There seems to be a squabble of that unity. People don't want to live in unity as of old. Was it easy for you growing up?
It was very easy. That's why I said it earlier on, your mindset. Because I remember growing up when our parents would call us, still based on parenting again, sorry, will tell us that believe in your country. Going back to school, I schooled in First Baptist, the Brian Taiwo Road. We eat together as brothers. I don't know who is Hausa, I don't know who is Yoruba, I don't know who is Igbo. We are all one because of the mindset growing up there. But now we're in a new generation, which we have to take it more serious. And thank God for Mr. President that is putting appropriate portals, different ministries and all that to talk to people. I'll give kudos to my bigger brother, the NOA, Mr. Lulu, what he's doing, trying to preach Nigerians to people. We don't have any other country to run to. We've got this great country, Nigeria. All I am asking for on this platform is to speak. Let's speak with all the platform, our mindsets, and we're going to get it right. We are the eagle of Africa. You know how it takes eagle to go to the high mountain to peel off the stuff. Very great bird to fly. That's who we are. I think I will hold all platforms, all media houses to preach it. Mr. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, is killer. And we have to work with him. What I mean by a great scaler, it brainstorms ideas. And for us to run Nigeria with that mindset of I'm Igbo, I'm Hausa, and this, we cannot achieve that mindset. I think on this note, I will just say our mindset.
Okay. So from what you've said, it means we have to go back to the drawing board. We have to go back to how we were, to the very beginning where brotherhood existed.
Yes.
Now, sir, from all he has said, I can see that there was a generation that unity and brotherhood existed, but slowly, probably modernization or what have you, we've lost it. In your opinion, how do we go back to those days? And also, I would want you to add dreams to be running out of Nigeria. We are discussing vision for a brighter Nigeria. We should have vision for a brighter Nigeria. How do we go back to the drawing board? How do we go back to the days of old and then address the Japa syndrome? If we all run from Nigeria, what becomes of this great country?
Sure. I will go back to what Mr. Adeniji mentioned about him growing up in Kaduna. I'm an Edo man and I grew up in Lagos. I also spend most of my youthful education time in the East, where you have more of the Igbos. And the Igbos are, populated Christian, more of Christians than Muslims, which I am. Most times we'll be in the classroom, and when you're calling the list of students, they get to my name, who is Ali Ushuhali Abdulafiz? And everybody turns back, who is this Abdulafiz? And they see me, you are this our friend, are you Muslim? I'll say, yes, I'm Muslim. And they'll say, wow, they've never encountered Muslims before. So we told you're a black man, and I'll say no. Then and then you see people coming to meet with me and saying, they never knew they've never been out of the shores of, the eastern part of Nigeria. I made friends, I made brothers, and look at us today. I had to lecture them that don't think because you're Christian and there is a Muslim. It's the same blood that runs into our vein. We are the same Nigeria. And look at them all over Nigeria now. Most of my friends are coming into Kano, Kaduna, buying houses here in Abuja. So coming to the Japa syndrome, like I mentioned earlier, there is a foundation. Nigeria is a growing country. If everybody leaves the country to a developed country to go and enjoy a place that is not your home, the landlord there one day will chase you away. When you come back, you meet a dilapidated country. So we that we are here now, we Nigerian youth, we now understand that Nigeria has to grow. We need to stay and fix our country. Whatever you're going out there to look for is right here in the country. Most of the resources that they use to maintain their stability over there abroad is from this our dear country to come to extract them from. So my advice to every youth, remain. Nigeria is a beautiful country, and with the renewed hope agenda, try study the renewed hope agenda. Don't criticize it. Relax. What is our president thinking about? Where is he taking us to? Look into it, and I'm assuring you see a brighter future in the renewed hope agenda.
Now, we addressed the Japa syndrome, and one of the reasons I think, I'm not speaking on their behalf, but I think young Nigerians are leaving the country is because they do not feel we implement to promote inclusivity and social justice.
I'll come from this angle because I'm a scaler. What I mean by scaler, I value ideas. For the very first time, Nigerians having a president that is a scaler. Things around the box, they call Mr. A, Mr. D, Mr. C. How can we get this to work? I can't come to your house without an idea and I want to collect money from you. Is it possible? For us to support this country to scale to that, I don't know, it's not easy. Because I know when I designed NASA State logo, I was playing around it because I need to add value to my country. I'll take my system, I'll travel to KP. I'll not doing it alone because I want to know the major value of what we have in our country. But how many Nigerians? I'll still come back to it. I'm just trying to bring 1 or 2 points for you to understand that we have to create a niche for ourselves. If you want government to see what package are you bringing on board to assist the government, not looking at you want to make 2 billion naira contract. That is the only way Nigeria will favor you. No. Majority of the youth don't want to go out of their box to make a research. What is happening in my local government? What is happening in my state? From that angle, nobody even the main government will look for you. That okay, come and add this one. If they're not looking for you, your product will show. In that aspect of inclusivity, it's very good and all that. Government needs to make basic amenities for everybody to have a good leverage, good home, good life, and all that, which is good. But on our own part, we have our own work to do. I cannot just come to receive from you always without having what to do. I think from that end, we have a lot of work to do. Let me cite what the teacher said.
Okay. Very quickly, sir. We are running out of time.
Okay.
Oh, you make your point, but very quickly.
Okay, yeah.
Yes.
Just like what you said. If went looking for a trip, because he has already seen the lights ahead of him, not waiting for the government to come and take him to the farm. He's already there. So that when government is coming to go to the farm, they'll say, okay, what do you need? And at least from there, we'll have a better country.
Thank you so much, gentlemen, for coming on Good Morning Abuja. Such an interesting conversation we are having about our great country, Nigeria. But unfortunately, we don't have much time again. Mr. Joseph Adeniji, thank you for your valid insights and everything you've said in lending your voice to make Nigeria a better country. Thank you also, Mr. Aliu Oshohale, the Edo man. Thank you for coming to the studio. All right, it's been an interesting conversation. You can tell vision about making Nigeria brighter and greater for the benefits of all of us and our children yet unborn. Now we'll go on a short break. When we come back, Good Morning Abuja will continue. So please go nowhere. Stay with the Unity Station, NTA Channel 5 Abuja.
say our goodbyes on the program. As usual, I remain your host of the most, Omoide with Erese, and I'll always be here with my bestie.
Je m'appelle Oguntayo Olamposi Justina.
Speaking French now, from Jordan to Sweden.
Adios.
Planned, and a lot of things were put into consideration in this plan. It's also unfortunate that people have left that plan. Green areas and other recreational places like parks are being used for different purposes. Now, today we are going to be talking about the protection and preservation of green space in the Federal Capital Territory. And my guest is already seated here to do justice to this topic. I have in the studio Umar Shaibu. He is former coordinator, Abuja Metropolitan Management Council. Welcome to the show, sir. Good to have you. All right, so we are talking about protection of and preservation of green space in the Federal Capital Territory. And in my introduction, I said how these green spaces and recreational areas are being used for different purposes. I'm sure that other places too that were carefully kept for other things are being, people are encroaching, that's the word for it, into all of that. I want you to, when we talk about green spaces, what do we mean by that, and why is it important to maintain and preserve these areas?
Thank you. First of all, Abuja city, as you have rightly said, it has been carefully planned as the capital city of Nigeria. And it has been planned to the world standard because the people that were involved in planning the city were renowned, world-renowned town planners, architects, engineers. They formed the company solely in order to win the contract, and they won. And they produced this very beautiful document called Abuja Master Plan.
Okay.
In this Abuja Master Plan, they produced what we call the land use budget. The city itself is made up of a land size of 250 square kilometers. Within this area, they have allocated land uses. There are residential land uses, there are industrial, there are recreational, there are green areas. We call them green because they are supposed to be preserved. Our green component will be preserved. So, in this plan, what we have allocated for the green component of this city is 33%, sorry, of the world land use budget of Abuja city is devoted to greening. Why do we allocate that big size? Because as humans, we're animals in the scientific code. No animal will exist optimally without plants surrounding it. Why? Because there must be balance in the ecosystem. Whatever is our byproduct, we the animals, is what the plant needs for survival. And whatever is the byproduct of the plant is what we animals need for survival. What is that byproduct? We breathe in oxygen. It is the oxygen that is the byproduct of the plant. The plant uses the carbon dioxide that we breathe out, and they produce oxygen as their byproduct. While we use the oxygen that is a byproduct of the plants, and then emit the carbon dioxide, which is useful to the plants. That is how God did it. That's how God planned it, naturally. So that is why if you want to have optimal production, optimal satisfaction, comfort for the animals, you must have plants around you. That is one of the most important global best practice in planning. And because of that, we plan Abuja to a concept that is known as the garden city. We must exist side by side with the plan. And that is why we have this allocated, the 33% for Abuja city. Now we have the green areas, which we should not put solid structures. Yes, they can be used, put to use. How do you put the green area to use? Use it for recreational purpose. Apart from that, you see, in planning, we have so many natural components within the areas that we plan. Whenever you are planning an area, there must be rock outcrops.
Okay.
These are natural components, natural elements. There must be rivers. You cannot be on rivers, and you must provide water. Water must have its course. It must have its way. Otherwise, it can create its way, and it is going to be disastrous. So allow the water to run. So whenever we have streams, natural streams, cutting through a planned area, we use that. It is some sort of impediment, but we use it for an advantage. So how do we use it for advantage? The area that we find that is going to be liable for flooding, we plant areas, And then in urban development, you have so many infrastructures that you need for the survival of man or for the comfort of people within the urban areas. What do I mean? We have sewer lines, we have water lines, we have all these ones. And anywhere you are going to pass through this infrastructure, there are underground services. You cannot put underground services where you have heavy development on top because it's going to rupture it under. So that means you have to lay all these underground services where you are not going to develop. And this has perfectly suit green areas. And that's why we preserve the green areas and make sure that we don't develop anything on top of it because of all this facility that we provide there.
So year in, year out, we've had the issue of flooding in Abuja. I'm sure it's because people are intruding and building, how did you say it, solid
they are building in areas that building in flood areas, yes, that are liable to flooding.
That is why we have the issue, the cases of, I'm sure that's why we have the cases of flooding each year in Abuja. Now, I was going to ask you, how do you balance urban development and environmental preservation in Abuja? But you have answered that. So we'll go straight to, please, can you tell us the roles or the duty of Environmental Protection Board? Tell us exactly what its role is in protecting the city's environment.
Okay. You see, in the department that we have in Capital Development Authority, it's said all the departments are created in order to suit in how we implement the Abuja Master Plan. So the Environmental Protection Board was a later creation because at the time that we feel that it is feasible at that time to create that board in order to create the environment, it was created. And there is a law guiding its operation. We call it Abuja Environmental Protection Act. It has been in use all this while. All the areas that we have that are not supposed to be desecrated, are not supposed to be violated. In these areas that you call Abuja, the natural elements that concern maybe the rock outcrops, the green areas, and all what have you. Previously, the Environmental Protection Board includes the department that we call now Park and Recreation Department, but they are now being separated. So anywhere we have abuse or pollution within the environment, that is the responsibility of the Environmental Protection Board to make sure they address these issues of pollution. We have air pollution in cities, we have solid wet pollution, we have liquid waste pollution. So in areas of this, liquid waste, they are in charge of making sure that our underground sewers, all those underground sewers are not violated. You know the underground sewage and all this one, this sewage, where whenever you defecate within your house, you have your toilets, you have your kitchen, all those waste need to be channeled down. We don't have soccer waste in Abuja City. What we have is central sewage treatment plant. So that central sewage treatment plant, we have very elaborate network underground where all this liquid waste goes to and then terminate at the central sewage treatment plant. That central sewage plant, all the water, the waste water, here we sieve and make sure that the parts that are going to be useful are extracted. That will be useful components within waste also, where you can convert for manure, for fertilizer, and all what have you. So the central sewage treatment plant is under the Abuja Environmental Protection Board, as well as clearing the solid waste within the city itself. Anywhere you have human habitation, you must generate waste. An agency must be in charge of clearing those waste. That is Abuja. There are so many of them still that they carry in the city. We can go on and on and on.
Thank you so much for that light that you've thrown on the what their roles are. Now let's move ahead, and we do not have much time again. Now, in conclusion, what would you advise, and very briefly, sir, what would you advise to prevent the encroachment of urban development in Abuja's green space and parks? What advice would you give?
It's not even an advice. There is an institutional framework that is provided within the system to prevent this violation of green areas. The Department of Park and Recreation is a responsibility, because that 33% of the component of Abuja Master Plan is being defended, protected by the Park and Recreation. And again, we have the Department of Development Control. Anybody that wants to develop a land in Abuja, he has to develop it according to the land use in which it has been allocated to be used for. And the lands department itself, it also works with the urban and regional planning department in order to arrive at allocating a land for a use. It must be allocated for that particular use. So if there is going to be any violation, somebody is allocated a land for green, we go and use it for another purpose, for residential or other, development control will stop it. That is what is there statutorily. Development control must make sure that all lands are used according to the land use which are allocated.
This is a very interesting conversation. I wish we had more time to talk about this, but unfortunately, this is the much we can take on today's edition of the program discussing protection and preservation of green space in the Federal Capital Territory. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
You're welcome.
Yes, sir. So, my former coordinator, Abuja Metropolitan Management Council, and we discussed about the green spaces in Abuja. Now let's go on this short break. When we come back, good morning Abuja, as you know, we continue, so please stay with us.
La ilaha illallah Muhammadur Rasulullah
blessings of Allah be upon each and every one of us. It's another fantastic Friday evening. And you're welcome to NTA Channel 5 Abuja.
First of all, you train yourself, you educate yourself, then you educate your family, and then the community at large.
Fundamentals of Islam Live, showing 7:30 p.m. every Friday on NTA Channel 5 Abuja, the Unity Station. Join us.
Welcome back from that break. All our conversations today are tailored towards making Nigeria a better country for you and I to enjoy this great country that God has blessed us with so many resources. Yes, now my next guest is Michael Esimaji. He is a HR consultant. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you so much.
It's good to have you on the program. So we will be discussing accelerating sustainability through entrepreneurship and career development. Now, when we talk about career development, there was a generation where you would have to be a lawyer, a doctor, all those things like that, all those careers like that. But today, people are venturing into different businesses and becoming bosses of their own. So we're talking about accelerating sustainability through entrepreneurship and career development. Help us understand this topic.
Okay, so first of all, the topic borders around two areas. So we have career, and then we also have entrepreneurship. All right. So and when we now talk about acceleration, what do we mean? How do we make it or move it forward? All right, as a process. So now, career. Each of these two areas deal with what we call income generation, which is meant for livelihood sustenance. All right. So now, when you now talk about career, so how do you best position yourself in your career in that chosen field of work, so that you can be able to earn sustainable income and grow and also be happy with what you do. Right now, talking about the entrepreneurship. Right. So we understand that right now, yes, nobody has the permission to say Nigeria is a third world country, but we are a developing country, right? So and because we are a developing country, too many things in terms of development are not in place for us to thrive as much as we can. So the entrepreneurs, which is those that are taking the risk in starting a business, they have a huge role to play when it comes to pushing. They create the environment for businesses to thrive. In fact, they are the risk taker. They make sure that we have new streams of businesses, new stream of income for those that wants to work. So for those that wants to pursue a career, they are not necessarily taking the risk in the business, while the entrepreneurs are actually the ones taking the risk. So the entrepreneurs need to create an enabling environment for those that wants to work or those that want to join the workforce to be able to thrive. So that's what it means.
Thank you so much for that insight. Now, what role can innovation play in driving sustainability and businesses?
So when we say innovation, we are saying, okay, what are the new ways of doing things, right? So innovation, when you speak about the word innovation, you are talking about technology. You are talking about sustainable power supply and generation. All right. So innovation, one step or one thing that innovation can also do to accelerate career and entrepreneurship is by providing technologies that enables constant power supply. We all know that if we have constant power supply in Nigeria, in fact, a lot of the hassles we have in setting up businesses will reduce. That is not all, but it will reduce. And then the next thing we are talking about when it comes to innovation is technology. How efficient can businesses run, right, without human effort, without workers having to do too much? So we are talking about bringing on board artificial intelligence, automation. So when you talk about artificial intelligence, we are talking about automation. So innovation in the sense of automation, innovation in the sense of renewable energy systems, solar power systems, these are, innovations that can make the business environment to thrive, to make that can reduce the work. And then we talk about industrialization. So industrialization, which is we always refer to it as the fourth industrial revolution. Now, there are technologies that are making sure that, for example, if a worker is supposed to carry what do you call it, an heavier bulk of load, there are now equipments that can make this load carriage, for example, easier. There are now technology that makes transaction payments easier. So that's where technology innovation meets career and entrepreneurship acceleration. So the innovation is usually around technology, constant power supply through renewable energy, automation, artificial intelligence, and then the mechanics of industrial revolution. So that's that.
Wow, that's a lot to take in actually.
Thank you.
All right. So what are the benefits and challenges of adopting sustainable business practices, especially for startups in Nigeria?
Okay, so one of the setbacks that startups have usually had over time is reliable workforce in place, or reliable workforce arrangements. So again, no business, right? No business. So when you talk about entrepreneurship, it's not business. You're talking about those that are putting in money to make sure that a process is working. So no business can thrive without the people in the business. So that's one of the challenges. We have too many people that are not trustworthy, right? So your employer can't just give or leave the business to you as a manager in a place for you to run it and efficiently give back proceed and report. So that is also one of the drawbacks. We have had too many business crashed and folded up because of the people in the business that were not transparent and accountable enough. That's one. And then we also have government regulations. Sometimes, for example, there was a time in the country where those entrepreneurs, or what will I say, fintech companies or startups that were running the logistic side of business across Lagos and a couple of there was a policy that says, oh, please, we don't want to see Okadas or logistics bikes anymore. It's a policy, right? Good or not, it will affect businesses that has already been set up within that framework. So regulatory policies can hamper the growth of businesses, and when businesses are destroyed or shut down because of certain regulation or policies, those that are working in the business, which are those in the career space, will be affected. They will lose their job, and then they have to start looking out for the next means of livelihood. So those are regulations. Even technology too, infrastructure can also hamper. So I was talking about power supply earlier. So non-sustainable power supply can also hamper business and growth. So those are areas where that we can have a little bit of delays, drag down when it comes to career growth and entrepreneurship, or the ecosystem as we should have it to be.
All right. Speak to us. How can entrepreneurs contribute to achieving sustainable development goals? Because these goals we've been hearing talks around sustainable development goals for a while now. How can entrepreneurs contribute to that?
Okay, so entrepreneurs can first of all have what we call training and development program in place. So, and when we talk about sustainable development goals, we're talking about 17 key areas. So now, as an entrepreneur, you can't deal on all 17 key areas. You have to choose. For example, my business, we deal around let's say about 5-6 of those key areas, which include decent work, no poverty, because what we work around is job placement. We also ensure that those that need funds, business advisory to sustain their business, to do all that. So now, an entrepreneur must ensure that his business or the source of income or the structure he has put in is sustainably equipped with staffs that are properly trained, right? And he also needs to ensure that there's what we call a flexibility to work, right? So now we are now in the age where remote work is thriving. Everybody wants to work remotely. Now there are certain industries that would not necessarily require remote work. For example, if you own a bakery, the workers can work from home, right? Even if they wish to work from home. So now, how does an entrepreneur or a business owner in that space now make things easier for those that are tolling the career line or for the business? You cannot have flexible work hours, right? You have back-to-back flexibility. You put in what incentives in place, right? Incentives are another way entrepreneurs can make the sustainable goal come to life or come to fruition, right? So you put in incentives to encourage the workforce, right? You put in trainings and development in place, structures in place to make sure that the workers are happy doing their job. Because if the workers are happy, I remember I mentioned earlier, if the workforce is good, the business will thrive. Because you as the entrepreneur, you can't do the job alone, right? So when we have all of these infrastructure in place, these developments, trainings, what you call it, flexible work hours, and then what you call it, reforms in place, then things will get better, and we can now start looking at achieving the sustainable development goals.
Okay. So if you had just few seconds to speak to an entrepreneur in Nigeria out there who is struggling to even to make his business stand, to make his business thrive, what would your advice be as the last thing you are going to be saying?
All right. So one thing I will always say is success is not a marathon, right? You keep running, right? In fact, even when you get to where you think you are, there will not be a need to move to the next level, right? So start where you are. So to entrepreneurs that are just starting, business owners, you don't just become entrepreneur. You start with owning a business first. You understand? So start where you are. Be resilient. All right. Be resilient. Learn from your mistake quickly. Right. So when you learn from your mistake, it helps you to move and reduces the chances of you making the same mistake again. And then for those that wants to build products, because that's also one area where we have issues. You need funds to build products. You can start with the service angle of the business. When you have made enough traction, become known, then you can start building products, which requires a lot of financial money. You require money to put into the product development and things like that. So start with if you don't have the fundings to start with the service version of your business, grow it, become stable, and then you can now move to product development.
Thank you so much, sir, for coming on Good Morning Abuja. I had my guest is Michael Osimaje. Thank you for.
Do we have anything for those that are pursuing a career line?
We do not actually have the time to take all of that. That's why we're rounding up now. Thank you so much for coming on the program.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. It's been an interesting conversation with my guest. Yes, I'm sure you picked a pen and jotted some of those points. We go on a short break now. When we come back, the show continues.
لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله لا إله إلا الله محمد رسول الله.
May the peace and blessings of Allah be upon each and every one of us. It's another fantastic Friday evening, and you're welcome to NTA Channel 5 Abuja.
First of all, you train yourself, you educate yourself, then you educate your family, and then the community at large.
Fundamentals of Islam Live, showing 7:30 p.m. every Friday on NTA Channel 5 Abuja, the Unity Station. Join us.
Now it's the weekend, laughter, fun, movies. Now talking about movies, here is our movie trailer for the weekend.
I'm going to be frank with you. You are smart. I know that you are great with numbers, but I just don't think you got it. As an executive, I see no value in you. Does that make sense?
I'm sorry, what?
You know we have the Bangkok merger coming up. Prove me wrong. Oh, Linda, before you go, I forgot to mention I've received a few complaints about you.
Complaints?
Noxious odors.
Oh, God.
Take your seats. You're a little bitch.
Because
it's happening live in Abuja right now. Tanya has taken senior government officials whom he accuses of corruption hostage at the Hilton Hotel in Abuja, Nigeria. Don't shoot!
At no point in Nigerian history has poverty allegation been more crucial. Naira is falling to the gutter. But the dollar keeps rising to the heavens. But as you can see, I have taken control of the hotel.
American businessman Virgil Lane, who has strong trade ties to West Africa, is among the hostages.
I am just hoping that the government swings into action.
Now kicks full of see awards everywhere in the bunker. There's a track.
I don't see how your past experience tie in with my ministry.
I am only interested in leaving this hotel.
Full lockdown complete.
Is that police?
If you want to survive, you have to learn to trust me. Both of you. Warn yourself. You want listen. My name is Boss.
Stronghold of my life, whom shall I fear? Though the arrows may fly, by day, I will not be afraid.
Are you ready for a great adventure?
I will not be.
Welcome back from that movie trailers. Which one would you be watching? Which one would you look out for and say, oh, I saw this on Good Morning Abuja and I have to watch it? Well, enjoy your weekend. Now, what would the weather look like? Welcome back from that weather forecast for the day. Wow. All right. We had a lovely time on this show, and unfortunately, it's time for us to go. But we do this every weekday on NTA Channel 5 Abuja. We're always here on Good Morning Abuja to brighten, educate, and keep you entertained every morning, every weekday's morning. All right. This is the much we can take on today's edition. And I would like to say thank you for our guests for coming to the studio. You made it beautiful. And also to you, our esteemed viewer. Out there, you watched us, and I'm sure you learned a thing or two. Now, from the entire production crew, I would like to say you should have a very lovely day. I remain Pamela Zamfara.